Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Surviving Men series. My name is Kunguru87. Welcome to the Surviving Men series once again. If it's your first time to come into this channel, kindly do like it, subscribe, and share it out, and turn on the notification button so that next time when we launch a video, when we drop a video, when we share a video, or when we go live, you'll surely and definitely get a notification. So, without wasting your time today, we just want to discuss as the subject has just been written. Are you aware, or are you a person who can handle your emotions, sorry, I beg your pardon, your emotions in public world without actually making the other person feel bad or look bad? Are you an emotionally mature individual? Because many a times we find ourselves into situations we cannot handle it ourselves. Maybe it's an argument, maybe it's an altercation, maybe it's a family congregation somewhere, or you're addressing people. And one or another, you've rubbed shoulders as an individual. And because you're emotionally mature, you tend to find your way of how to come out of it looking good. So without taking much of your time, I'll give you 8 instances where we'll be talking about how emotionally mature you are. And I'm sure out of these 8 instances, if you cannot find at least 5, then there's something wrong with you. So without taking much of your time, we jump to number 1. When you are empathetic, you'll find yourself that when something is happening, you're empathetic. What do I mean by empathetic? You tend to put yourself into the other person's shoes. Maybe something wrong has happened. You don't go guns blazing even if people are going towards, like, guns blazing towards them. Oh, they knew what they were doing. No, you'll be like, wait a minute. Let's get to handle, let's get to see, let's get to hear the other side of the story. You tend to be like emotionally attached with this individual so that you don't make what you call the first judge or the first impression because you were told and you're not sure when someone has done something wrong. So most people, or yourself, if you find that you are a bit empathetic with individuals, just know you are emotionally mature person. Another thing is that you recognize and you share your thoughts and your feelings. For example, when someone has done something wrong towards you, just tell them, by the way, Mr. So-and-so, I never like what you did it to me, and I don't want to just go like that. I don't want to rub it under the carpet. I'm just addressing it in a more calming way. I don't like the way you're talking to me. I don't like the way you're addressing me. I don't like the way you shouted at me at this particular instant. So let's just quash this, whatever, and let's move on. You speak about how you're feeling. You don't let it in, because a lot of people have made bad choices because you tend to let it in, to just tend to close a lot of anger in you. You don't want to tell them because you don't want them to feel disappointed. Yes, sometimes you may be required to do that, but always speak your mind. When you speak your mind, the anger levels go down. You don't end up making a wrong decision. So directly it will mean that you're an emotionally mature person, because you speak to so and so. Hey, if it's your boss, you'd like, you know what, I don't like the way where this conversation is going to. I don't like your tone. When you tone down, then we can have a mature elderly discussion. You just, they'll know, oh, this person must be very mature. You don't throw backwards like, hey, you did it, so I'm also doing it. No, it's not a pissing contest where we'd want to see who's pissing farthest like the other person. You tell them, no, let's be mature people, let's be civilized people. Another thing is that when you're flexible and open-minded, if you find yourself most of the time you're flexible, maybe something is not going the way you had planned, the way you had thought about it, but one way or another, you've managed to just calm down the situation, be flexible, like, yeah, we can try it your way. If it doesn't work, we'll come and try it my way. It doesn't have to be a way. Your word doesn't have to count. You're accommodating the other person's interests, ideas, thoughts, and ambition. Definitely know there you are a mature person. Another point is when you form secure and healthy relationship. Each and every day I've told people that before you answer someone, think of the repercussions. Think of the repercussions after. These cases of I wish I knew you, that usually come later. You have to think before these things happen. Meaning you are willing to accommodate the other individual's thoughts, the other people's thoughts, the other congregants in that particular room, the other colleagues' thoughts, the other relatives' thoughts. You're willing to accommodate them, meaning you're flexible and you're open-minded, and you form a secure, healthy relationship with people. You want to be the good side of the people. Just definitely know you are a very, very mature person emotionally. And then you take responsibility for your actions. There are people who say, yes, I did a mistake. Let's assume you are in a business and maybe a business had gone wrong because you never did a certain aspect or your end of the bucket. Call that individual, tell them, excuse me, Mr. So-and-so, I'm aware the goods you've not received your goods. The mistake is mine. I forgot to call. Trust me, many a times when you call individuals and take ownership, they calm down the tempers. It shows that you are very emotionally mature. I'm sure most of you'll find yourself that you're scared of telling this person because they'll think like, you've let them down. It wasn't expected of you to do this particular thing like that. You're a professional. Yes, professional, tell the truth. Call that individual. Call your sister, call your mom, call your relatives, tell them, call your boss. I never did ABCD. I'm taking full ownership and full responsibility. That is what you call emotional immature. You don't want to make decision based with your feelings. No, you've taken full responsibility and you're willing to work on it. Another point is that you set healthy boundaries. When you tell someone no is a no, you don't need to explain when you're telling someone no. When you say yes is a yes. You say, I'm not feeling like friends. Those people, for example, today you decided, you know what? Today I'm not going to go out for outing. I'm not going to party with my friends. You tell your friends no, and no. You don't have to give them excuses. Though many times I found people ask you, why are you not coming with us today? Why are you not doing this so and so? Why are you not eating today? They expect you to give them some explanation. Let me tell you, people of the internet, ladies and gentlemen, a no is a no. And that is the most hardest decision we as human beings are very afraid of telling people. The word no. It is discipline. It puts boundaries that, hey, when you go and ask someone and he says his no is a no, not that his no means a yes and his yes means no. It's a no. There's no two ways about it. Another instant is that you resolve conflicts calmly. Have you ever find someone you've gone guns blazing? Let's assume you employed someone and a certain client never received his or her goods on time, or maybe it is malfunctioning. Most of the clients come guns blazing. Let me tell you, what I do practice is just listen to them and tell them, when you tone down, when you get relaxed, then you'll tell me what's the problem. We cannot solve anything by shouting. Both of us cannot be up there. Even you're in a relationship, one has to be up, another one has to be down. You have to calm down, relax, compose yourself, then tell me what's the problem. You'll find maybe it's a miscommunication problem. Maybe the person who's fixing this particular product does not know how to fix it. Many a times, if you find yourself your soul calm in those scared situations, like these are dire situations. If you guys are employed or in a formal employment somewhere, someone can get fired and you're like, nah, relax. Even I'm sure your bosses will be like, how come you relax? Many a times those people who relax, they've already started solving that problem in their brains and in their mind. They've started articulating how they'll solve this particular problem. And if you find yourself, you're always calm at this particular situation, trust me, ladies and gentlemen, people of the internet, you are very emotionally mature. You're very mature upstairs. You know your way how to circumvent some situation. And last but not least is you manage stress in a very healthy way. Yeah, stress is very bad. I said it in my previous videos. You can just go and check it out. Stress is a very bad thing. Once you dive into stress, you will not come out. Sometimes it can be fatal or very costly to come out of stress. If you find yourself, you can walk out of stress very calmly. For example, maybe someone lent you a car and you've gone with that car, and for one way or another something bad happened or you were involved in an accident. If you find yourself, that's so stressful. You borrow someone a car, you don't have money and it has been involved in an accident. But by one way or another, you're not stressed. You're very relaxed. You're calm. You are able to call this individual and tell them the truth. By the way, I missed my turn. I miscalculated a certain turn or a certain thing. I hit a pothole, and one of your tires is has busted, etc., etc. You never meet your targets if you're employed. If you're in a business and you never manage to close a deal, and maybe you guys are being charged for shipping, or your rent is in arrears, etc. Those things bring stress. I'm telling you. If you find yourself as usually calm in solving such cases, you are very mature emotional. So just a few pointers. Some people say that also, just to add on, is that you don't need to win in some cases. You find that even when there's a case somewhere, it doesn't mean you have to win that case. Sometimes you just tell them, okay, just accept. Call me, not like, accept the defeat. No, just tell me, call me. Okay, we are not battling. It's not a pissing contest. You just agree. Okay, you know what? You've won. So we are not fighting. We are not racing. We are not competing. I'm just okay with it, and you just accept other people's instances. Again, another thing, you no longer chase people who don't respect your time. I have one rule: if you don't respect my time, I don't respect your time, because I give at most respect at any given time. And if you don't respect it, I withdraw my respect from you immediately, because I like that within a fraction of a second. So you'll find yourself that if you don't like involving yourself with such kind of people, you're emotionally mature. Again, it's trying to change people who cannot be changed also. You find many a times we find ourselves with people, they cannot be changed. They're just like that. Have you find people who are just hard-headed? You've tried changing them, you've tried teaching them, and they're like, this one will never change. When you find yourself deviating away from these people, you're emotionally mature. Last but not least is that you admit you're wrong. That one I've said, and you celebrate people's big wins. For example, if you guys are in a competition, a sales team, you are running. If someone has won, even your spouses have won in certain thing of they've been awarded the best category, the best sales, the best sales person, the best in running this particular competition, and truly you try and congratulate them and you thank them, that means you are an emotionally mature person. You're very mature because you celebrate other people's wins, even if it was supposed to be yours. You tell them it was a healthy competition, and congratulations for you winning. But many a times we find people are afraid to do that. They take it so personal. You tell them like it's not a matter of life and death. Those people, let's say like election, and maybe you guys are you're competing for a certain job in your organization. There's an opening. Just tell them, you know what? Congratulations. So if you find at least 5 of these points you can resonate with them, then you are someone who's very mature emotionally. And if you find none of them below 5, just put in the comment section. Maybe I can assist you to try and pinpoint them. But if anything, just put it on the comment section and we'll definitely come back to you. Thank you very much for joining the Survive Event series. See you in a bit. A peace.